All right, so today I am on one of my favorite scooters that I've ever reviewed. This is the Ausom Gallop, and this scooter has a normal price of $1,400. Right now it's on sale for around $1,100, which for that price point is a steal of a deal because this does have dual 1200 watt motors, so that totals 2400 watts. So that's a lot of power that can get you up to the top speed of 41 miles per hour. And then you also have up to 55 miles as far as range that you can get on this bad boy. So you can probably tell already that this thing has some good acceleration, some good power. I'm only in level 2 right now. It does have 3 levels that you can rotate between depending on, how fast you want to go. And you have these 3 levels no matter whether you're just using 1 motor or 2 motors at the same time. So when you are using single and dual motors, both the first 2 levels will be able to get you up to 15 miles per hour and 28 miles per hour respectively. And then if you are using the single motor mode on level 3, you'll be able to get up to 34 miles per hour. But to get the 41 miles per hour, you will need to go to the dual motor mode on level 3. Okay, so now I'm at this very long and steep hill that I use for all my tests here. I am in dual motor mode and I am in riding mode 3. So let's get this thing going from a complete dead stop in 3, 2, 1, boom. Here we go. So this thing does have 32 Newton meters of torque. And I think like a 35% climbing angle, but we are already at 19, 20 miles per hour, and we are up this hill. Very good performance here from this scooter, as I expected, with the dual motor modes here. And also, again, just the acceleration that you have is able to carry my big body, my big frame up that hill with no problem. Now, one thing I have noticed with riding here is that this little hook here that you use to fold it down and latch it in place has become a little loose here. I can easily go ahead and tighten that up when I get home, but for right now, it's a little annoying to hear this clinking here when I am riding around. All right, so I'm about to do my speed test here, but I have a little bit of a hill to get up, and we are on some loose gravel here, and it's kind of steep here, but seem to be handling it just well. All right, there we go. And I am kind of slowing down a little bit and then hitting the throttle again, but we still have the power of these dual motors to get me up something like that. But all right, so now I'm at my starting point here for the speed test here. So this is a 52 volt system, and so this thing should be able to get me up to speed pretty quickly. So let's get this thing going in 3, 2, 1, boom. And we're about at like half battery here, so not the peak performance I'm expecting probably, but we're already at 23, 25 miles per hour. My GPS app on my phone is like 2 miles behind, but we're at 30 miles per hour already. 31, 32, 33. Again, top speed is going to be 40, I think 41 or 42, I already forgot. But we're at 33 miles per hour. And the battery is showing only like 3 bars left, 34. All right, so we're at like 34 miles per hour with less than half of a battery left. So I will say that I've done some riding and I've gotten up to around, like for me, like 36, 37 miles per hour. So I weigh around 220 pounds right now. So weight, wind, all that stuff is going to factor into like how fast you can go. And so yeah, for me, when I'm riding around, I like to hover around 30 miles per hour. But again, you could get faster depending on those different variables. And the same thing goes for the overall range that you can get with this scooter, up to 55 miles, depending on those different variables and stuff like that. And one thing I forgot to mention during the speed test is just how stable this thing is going at the faster speeds on this thing, and almost zero wobble. And it is kind of windy right now. Maybe you can hear it on the microphone. It is pretty windy right now, but I'm still feeling very comfortable on this. Now, one thing I will say though out the box is that the acceleration is super punchy, and also the braking is very responsive. Now in the manual, it will show you how to be able to go into the settings and change those things down. So you can change the levels to be even more aggressive, or you can turn down the sensitivity. I turned it down to be able to allow me to just feel more comfortable when I am taking off, and also when I am coming to a stop. Now, the scooter does have dual hydraulic disc brakes and also electronic braking. So when I am ready to stop, I just take my thumb off of the thumb throttle and let it come down to a slower pace just normally, and then I go ahead and hit the brake there, as you can see. Now, if you just want something that's a little bit more of an easier ride, maybe you're not riding in the streets trying to keep traffic and stuff like that, you can go ahead and switch down to the single motor, which I highly recommend for just a little bit more of an easier ride. Now, the suspension on this scooter is really good too. You can see that I'm bouncing up and down. It is so cushiony, like I think that's an actual word, but it does feel like you're just kind of floating on a cloud. So whether you're going over rough terrain, like I'm about to go over some gravel like this, which isn't like super bad, but I'm gonna try to get off here in some of the grass here. Yeah, here we go. All right. So now I can just feel like I am in more control because you have this suspension that just keeps you kind of stable from rocking around and stuff. And the better the suspension, the less your handlebars and stuff are going to be rocking and swaying and stuff when you are going over a bump or a curve like that. I'm gonna go off of this curve right here, no problem. Feels real good, man, real good. So yeah, I'm really liking this dual swing arm suspension. Then as far as the tires, these are coming in at 10 by 3.15 inches. And so not this super beefiest off-road tires that I've used on a scooter, but definitely enough to get the job done. And these are pneumatic tires, so I haven't had any problems with air or flat or anything like that, knock on wood, but yeah, these are pneumatic tires. And this is also a great looking scooter too, so it's only one single color combination, so you have black and gold, just like the Ausom Leopard scooter that I reviewed a few months ago. But this thing is very nicely designed, build quality is there. This is a aluminum alloy frame. Cable management up front is really nice. You do have some integrated cabling going along here as well. And the scooter does weigh 88.8 pounds, so it's a heavy scooter to move around. But the scooter does have a very nice and easy and fluid folding mechanism. You just have a little knob there on the front that you need to unscrew, and then you pull out this other little knob to be able to go ahead and fold down the handlebar stem. And then you do have this little hook here that will allow you to be able to lock this thing semi in place onto the floor of the scooter here. And I said semi-locking because if the scooter is like tilted to the side or something, this little mechanism can become undone. So just be careful of that. So I wish there was like a full-on solid locking system that you have with this thing. So when you put it in the trunk of your car, the handlebars is not gonna detach from this little locking setup here. But yeah, the scooter is robust and it can handle a rider weight up to 265 pounds. And the recommended rider height is between 5 foot and 6'7". Now, the good thing is that the footboard on this thing, or the floorboard, whatever you want to call it, is really nice and wide. So my size 12 feet fit very easily on this. And you do have a little bit of an elevated platform on the rear to be able to put one of your feet on there for even more stability. Now, inside of the footboard, you'll find the big old battery inside of this thing. But one thing that I really appreciate that you don't find on all scooters is the fact that you can remove the battery to be able to take it inside and charge it if you want. So on the footboard, you do have this combination lock that you can set to any 3-digit combination that you want. By default, it's on 000. But yeah, anyway, you'll be able to unplug the battery and then take it inside if you want. But if you do just want to charge the battery inside of the scooter, you do have 2 plugs that you can use. Now, you only get 1 charger by default, but you always can buy an extra charger to be able to get even faster charging out of this. And so with 2 chargers, you'll be able to charge the battery up from 0 to 100% in just 6 hours. And with 1 charger, it will take you 12 hours. And another thing about the design is that this scooter is rated IP54, so it can get wet and handle it a little bit. And then also, you do have a 4-inch display here on the front here. It's not a color display, but it does show you all of that relevant information as far as your voltage, your speed, distance, and all of that good stuff, and shows you which riding mode that you are in and whether or not you are using single or dual motor. And another thing I can appreciate is this big and kind of robust kickstand on this scooter. Very nice to be able to hold up this 88-pound weight, and it does perform well on gravel and soft ground and stuff, so it's all good with that. And now we're at the green light here, and let's see if we can keep up with this car a little bit here. So yeah, holding my own here pretty easily. And oh, almost one thing I almost forgot to mention is that you do need to have the key inserted to be able to use this scooter. And the good thing about the key though is that it is designed to be able to be left in if you do fold the scooter down, which is very convenient. But yeah, right now I'm just in power mode 2 and dual motor mode, and I'm still keeping up with these cars in traffic, which is very welcome. And let me take this turn here, nice and easy. Here we go. And you also do have some really good visibility on this scooter too. So you have a total of 10 lights, and that includes the brake lights and also the really nice headlight up front, and also the turn signals, which are nice to have on this scooter. And then you also have a couple of lights that are just on by default, and they don't do anything, but they look good at night, but also give you just that little bit of extra visibility. So one thing I would like to see in the next version of this is some way to kind of customize some of those lights with different colors that aren't really like functional, but to add a little bit more of customization to this would be nice. All right, so look, yeah, I think that's about it. So for $1,100, if you're looking for a scooter that has that power that you might expect at a higher price range, but also you do want it to be comfortable to ride. And also, again, you can always drop down to a single motor to make it even easier to ride. This scooter really checks off everything for me. It doesn't really have a lot of negatives as far as just having to go into the settings to be able to decrease the power of it. You know, by default, it's just a little too aggressive, even for someone like me who's been on some scooters. But I would definitely say that this scooter definitely is one of the top scooters that I've reviewed so far at that price range. It's just something that is really nice to ride. So down in the description box, I will drop a link to the scooter where you can go and buy it. It might be an affiliate link, and if it is, that will help support this channel, which I really do appreciate. But drop a comment down below and let me know your thoughts about this Ausom Gallop scooter in the comments below. But like always, I do want to thank you for watching this video, and I will catch you later. Peace.